Hello, everybody, and welcome to Digital Escape Room. Today, you are going to have a great experience. You're going to challenge your brain at the moment and see if you can break out of the escape room that we have for you from Cobblestone Collective. My name is Cami. I'm a teacher in Alberta, and I also like to hang around with Cobblestone Collective sometimes. I'm going to turn you over to Jessica, who is going to lead us through the day, and she's going to introduce our friends from Google as well. Jessica, over to you.
Hey everybody, my name's Jesslyn. I am a junior high STEM, so science, technology, engineering, math teacher from Alberta, living in Vancouver, and I'm super excited to be here with you today for this digital escape room session. So as Cami was saying, my name is Jesslyn. Her name is Cami. We both are super excited to be here from Cobblestone Collective, a group of teachers from all over Canada and the United States who are bringing amazing learning with technology to you and to teachers. So I do have some really special guests here in the background. I'll turn it over first to Sam from Google Canada to let us know who you are, what are you doing here, what's up?
Hey there. Nice to see all of you. My name's Sam. I'm a software engineer. I work out of the Google Waterloo office, usually, although I'm home right now. And I work on Chrome for Android. So every day I'm coding different stuff, problem solving, fixing bugs, finding solutions, and trying to understand just how Chrome works and how people use it.
That is so cool. Thank you, Sam, for being here, software engineer. Just solving problems, making our life easier, one line of code at a time. Awesome. Adam, what about you?
Hi, everyone. My name's Adam. I've been with Google for 7 years, and I work in our Toronto office. I'm what's called a senior partner lead, which means that I partner with large companies in Canada and help them build great digital experiences that help improve your lives and help them grow their business. Was born in Oshawa, Ontario, and went to O'Neill Collegiate, if there's any O'Neill folks on the call. What's up?
Awesome. Thanks, Adam and Sam. So good to have you here today. So for everybody that's joining us, all of our students and teachers across Canada, Sam and Adam are here to kind of give us a little bit of a picture of what it's like to work at Google, to know that Googlers are just like us, but they have some pretty cool jobs. And I know for myself, working for Google would be an absolute dream come true. So we're really excited to have them here today with us. So just so you know, today, this session is live right now. It's also being recorded. So the cool thing about that is that you can at any time pause the stream. You can rewind if you missed something, and you can always go back and replay it. So as we're working through the digital escape room today, if you feel like, oh, no, that was too fast, I'm lost, it's okay. Pause, rewind, listen again, and then you can start the stream again. Also, as we go, if we're giving hints and you're not quite ready for a hint, you can pause it and always restart it or kind of skip ahead so that you don't, you kind of can personalize your lesson for today. We want to hear from you as we're going through this session. So in this link here, http://thecc.page/STEAM7A. That's going to be our communication with you today. So would you go to that link? Let us know, what is your name, and have you ever done an escape room before? And we'll give it a couple seconds to kind of start going. And then Cami, if you can kind of let us know who's here today.
All right, Jess, well, that form is just coming on crazy. We have a mix. Some people have done escape rooms before, lots haven't. Some say, yeah, it's a while ago. So we have students from all over Canada joining us, including some Leafs fans. Sam, I think, is leading the way there.
Yeah, go Leafs. Come on.
There you go. Got to get that in
We're ahead
there.
of the Canadians.
You've got some fans in the forum there too. And so some people have said, yes, I've done escape rooms and they're hard. But we have a mix. So we have Mia in Vancouver, and we have Gammon from Prince Albert School, which I'm assuming might be even in Saskatchewan. So we have students from all over, and a mix of yes and no of people who have and have not done escape rooms. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're going to experience today?
Yep, absolutely. So I see some comments in there, people sharing that I've only ever done a physical escape room, or some have only done virtual ones because of COVID. And so I am a lover of digital breakouts. I love just solving puzzles. And, that's really part of this whole summit today about STEAM, right? When we talk about these mindsets of debugging. Sam talked about as a software engineer, he spends a lot of time solving problems, coming up with creative solutions, and that's what digital escape rooms are all about. So here's what we're going to do today. All right. You are going to be using your critical thinking skills. So we need to turn those on. All right. I'm going to give you some instructions. Then it is game time. All right. And while you're going to get a chance to solve and go and try to escape and open all the locks, we're going to be chatting a little bit here in the background. Sam and Adam actually haven't done this escape room yet, so they're going to get a chance to kind of do it right along with you. And then at the end, we will give solutions. Don't worry. Remember, you can pause the stream so that we don't give anything away before you're ready, but you will get a chance to see what those solutions are before the end of this workshop is up. So before we begin, all right, now everybody, I need you to listen. I need you to listen carefully, okay? I'm a junior high teacher. I know your teachers say all the time, listen, but this is important, okay? This is going to set you up so that you don't open this escape room and panic immediately, all right? So in a digital escape room, just like in a physical escape room, anything in the room can be a clue. Now, when I say room, it's going to be a website, all right? So when you open up the website that we will give you the link for in just a couple minutes, anything in this room can be a clue. So what you need to do first is you need to scan the room or the website. How you do that is you would scroll all the way down to the bottom, all the way back up again. Check out what's all on that page, right? Hover your mouse over parts of the page. Could there be anything hidden? There probably is. Then you want to check out the locks. Now, the locks are in a Google form that is embedded on the page. You want to check that out before you start so that you know what you're looking for. All right. So there might be a word lock. There might be a lock looking for numbers. It'll tell you how many digits you're looking for, that kind of thing. You also want to scan the room for links or anything out of the ordinary. And remember, make this your mantra today. Anything could be a clue. Anything could be a clue. And there are probably more things hidden than you can see on first glance. If you have never worked with a Google form before, all right, I've done some little back-end magic called response validation in that form. So there is a correct answer that will unlock each of those questions or the locks. How will you know if it's open? Now, this is what the questions will look like, okay? So here's for an example. What color is the sky, right? We all know the sky is blue. Unless it's raining, then it's gray, but it's blue, okay? It's one word, it's 4 letters, and it's going to be all capital letters. So here, I typed in blue, which is the correct answer, but I did not format it correctly. So I did not write it in all caps. So this is wrong. How do I know it's wrong? The whole box is highlighted in red. All right, we see it's all highlighted in red, and there is a custom error message here, which says try again. If I was you, I would pay attention to even those custom error messages because sometimes they can give hints for what you're looking for in the room. If you answer correctly, now this is a little bit anticlimactic, and I've said this to Googlers before, maybe we could jazz up Google Forms a little bit so that when you put the correct answer in, it gives you a little bit of confetti or something that, is a little bit more of a validation that you got it correctly. But for today, it's going to look like nothing happened. and that means that it's open. That means you have the correct answer. So if it doesn't highlight it and give you an error message, then you can assume you have the correct answer. All right. You won't be able to hit submit until you have all the correct answers. So, Cami, you're also a pro at this. Is there anything, coming in the form or that I'm missing before we start that we need to highlight?
Well, lots of people are active in the forum, so I just hope that they were listening to all those instructions. Miss Jesselyn, we might have to remind some people, but just basically click on everything, poke on everything. It's a Google site. You can't break it. Poke around. And people are so excited to get started. We have lots of new escape room folks, but we have some that say, oh, I beat my escape room every single time. So here we go.
Awesome. All right. Well, but without much further ado, then I guess it is time. Now, I'm going to go to the next slide. And when I do, there's going to be a link on the page. Obviously, you can't click this because this is a live stream. All right. So you're going to have to type it into your browser. Make sure it is case sensitive. So everything is lowercase for you. Please make sure that you type it in correctly. And I guess here we go. Oh, here we go. All right. So our escape room for today is called the Video Game Escape. Head to this URL, thedcc.page/VG Escape. VG Escape. All right. And when you head there, it is going to look like this. If you get to a web page that looks like this, you are in the right place. All right. Well, I'm going to check out that form while we give everybody a little chance to kind of get going here. We've got lots of people here today. We've got Mr. Johnson's class wants a shout out. Hey, Mr. Johnson's class. We've got lots of grades here.
I want to shout out all the Leafs fans I'm seeing. I'm seeing Ben and Sage and Anya and a person who just named themselves Leafs fan. And I see a few Habs fans. But I don't know if I want to even shout you out, Liam. Go Leafs.
All right, we've got lots of people. Yeah, that was my mistake. Put the link back, obviously. So here we go. The link is back. Head on in there. And when you get there, let's make sure that you're scrolling around the page. Scroll around the page, check out where might there be some links. What kind of locks do we have? Now, while you're off to the races and solving, all right, if you need to pause or mute us, that is fine. All right. If you need quiet to get to thinking and solving, that's totally fine. Mute us so you can't hear. But we are going to get kind of talking about the escape room as you are solving. So, on first glance, Cami, what are you thinking? What's going on over there?
Well, I'm just double checking our link. We have some people in the form, but the link is a great link. So make sure that you have a period after the cc.page and that you have that slash in there. So the link is a good one. It's going to get you into the form. And when you get in there, you will see what you see on that page that Jesselyn has there. It'll be Video Game Escape and Start. So the link is good. Just try again. Make sure you got the dot and the slash, no caps. So for those of you that are having trouble with the link, just keep trying. That's your first, first challenge to get over today.
And I'm getting some requests here. I need to make sure that we did not miss anything. Hey, Cami, you want to give some shout outs here?
Absolutely. Sam and Adam, go ahead to.
Well, I'm getting lots of questions about my favorite hockey team, and they happen to be the Calgary Flames. So big shout out to all my friends in Calgary.
Well, an Oshawa boy who loves the Calgary Flames. That is very interesting.
There's
And
not very many of us.
since we're going, I have to say I'm an Oilers girl from way back. So sorry, Adam.
Ooh.
All right. So let's see here. How about this? We have some of you that have said you can't get in. We would like to also know if you have gotten to the page successfully. That would really help us as well. So if you have gotten in, can you say, yes, it's working?
I've got a lot of people that have definitely gotten in because I see people viewing these files in the back end. So maybe just keep trying. Again, it's really important that you have the THECC .page. Make sure that your slashes go the right direction to get in there.
All right. So you're right, Jess. We do have lots of people in. So again, it's just the hardest thing you do today might be to correctly type that address in a new tab. So just make sure you have all the punctuation, all the things. And then, like Jesslyn said at the beginning, scroll up, scroll down, check it out everywhere. And Sam and Adam, I'm interested, if you took a look at that page, where would you start? There's a whole bunch of different things going on in that page. This is an escape room where you don't have to do it in order. What have you clicked on to start with first? I would love to know that.
Well, I'm going to be quite honest with you. The first thing that I do when I see this type of escape room is I think, can I hack this? Can I find a way to get around having to figure out everything? And in fact, if anyone really wants to try a next level escape room, I've confirmed that you don't have to do anything but use some very technical developer tools, and you can figure out all of the answers with just probably within about a minute. So that's the kind of the level 2 escape room. If you manage to finish it traditionally, see if you can hack the escape room.
Sam, I forbid you from telling them how to hack the escape room.
You know, for me, I'm just being so curious right now just to see what I can even click on. So if I use my mouse and I hover over something, I can tell right away if it's clickable or not. I hope that's not a hint, but
no, that's a good hint. Remember everything on that page. And if there's something that's not giving you the ability to edit, then you're not meant to edit. So asking for a request to edit, I'm not going to give you the ability to edit. So absolutely, Sam, rolling around that page, checking out.
I'm curious, how do you, if you scroll around that page, maybe you can go a little further. How do you know if something is clickable on that site? What little hint can you give us without maybe giving too much away?
well, I noticed that when I hover over something that's clickable, my cursor changes. So to me, that is a clue that I can click through on something.
There are other ways to tell if something is clickable. I'm giving that as maybe a hint. I'm not going to say exactly how to do it quite yet, but there's a way that you can press a button and figure out every place on the page that's clickable, which we use in Chrome for accessibility, so that people who can't see well can still navigate around web pages.
I can't wait to hear that hint a little bit later, Sam. That would be a great thing for everybody to learn. But let's let them give some. Let's do some work first.
Absolutely.
Can I shout out some classes here? There's Dr. John's class. There's Mr. Rago's class, Mr. Pantioris, Mr. Tyndale, Miss Eckel, Coelho, Mrs. Wilson. There's a lot of classes here looking for shout outs. So I'll try and work my way through this page as time goes on here.
And if you're still if you still haven't gotten to the web page, if you still can't see the video game escape with the start button, just again, that link it's a good link. Just open a new tab and type very carefully and keep going.
Yeah, so we've been going on this for just under 10 minutes. I think maybe it's time to give a hint. Maybe it's time to give a hint. Lots of people are saying it's working. So if you do not want to hear this hint, you need to mute your computer so that you cannot hear. I am going to give a hint in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, the first hint that I am going to give, which is for the first lock, is that you're going to need to look around somewhere on the page. You see how it says letter lock, all right? It's going to be 5 letters. So somewhere on the page, there are going to be 5 letters that are sticking out somewhere, all right? And that's what we need to look for. So 5 letters that are sticking out somewhere. They're going to be together probably, but you're looking for 5 letters that are out of place. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
So Jess, it does seem like the link might be working for some teachers, but not for students. Now I'm wondering if the teachers that it works for, but not the students, can you let us know if your students are able to access the form where they're typing things in as well? Because sometimes that might help us out. Can they access both or just one or the other? I'm glad to see that you're typing it in carefully. So we're just troubleshooting here now.
I'm going to head in there and double check.
Jesselyn, could you maybe type on your page the bit.ly link as well?
Yeah, for sure. I will do that right now.
And maybe even the full sites one. I know that's a little bit longer to, because it might be the short link that's causing the problem. So maybe even the full sites address.
For sure. I'll do that.
Now, some of you have said you've gotten the puzzle done. The puzzle is a step to one of the other answers that you're going to put in that Google form. So it's great to see that you've got the puzzle done. Some of you think you're missing pieces, but you know what happens to me when I do those puzzles is sometimes the pieces are underneath other pieces. So you might have to actually, drag some of the pieces around because the pieces will all be there. Sometimes they get hidden underneath. So if you're missing pieces in the puzzle, give that a try.
Can I shout out Mrs. McPherson, St. Veronica School, Brianna, and someone asked me what my favorite coding language is. And I'm going to have to answer with Python. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Python, but I find it's really simple and beautiful compared to some of the wordier languages that I've used.
Sam, there's also a lot of kids that want to know who your favorite Leaf player is.
I think it has to be Austin Matthews. I watched the first game after he was drafted, hoping that he was going to be an all-star, and then he scores 4 goals in his first game, and I was so happy. I was like, the Leafs actually have a good player finally. So I'm
gonna jump in on the hockey talk for a second there, gentlemen. One of the things that I'm seeing is sometimes you're accidentally closing the escape room and then you have to come back. So a little trick that you can do is to right-click or 2-finger click on a Chromebook and on the tab where the escape room is, and then choose the word pin. And that will pin your tab. It's called pinning a tab. And then that prevents you from accidentally closing that tab maybe when you're clicking back and forth to the form. So that might be something that helps us as we're clicking around from different pages. And you might even want to pin the tab to the puzzle as well. That might be helpful. Now, it does seem like some people have had success. Maybe if you have access to a place that's not in your school account. That seems to have helped for some folks. So we have so many different school boards, so many different areas. We have all sorts of different configurations. We seem to be getting more and more folks in. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, and go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, I see. So let us know when you get a lock open. I've got Fadi here that says they figured out their first lock. So I would love to know when you're starting to get locks open. Obviously, don't tell us what the code was, but yeah, we'd love to know, what kind of, or who's getting the locks open.
And I love that Paul has also reminded us that you can Control-Shift-T to open the last tab that you closed. So that's a good hint as well. A big shout out to Paul there for that one as well.
Absolutely. I also want to point out to everybody that you don't have to solve those locks all in the order that they're in on the page. So I'm going to give another hint here. We've got lots of people saying, I got the first one. I need another hint. I need another hint. So fair warning, we are giving another hint incoming in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. This next hint that I'm going to give is for the number lock. Now, this one's a little bit of a tricky one, right? But you need to really, really go around the page. And like Adam was saying, as you are scrolling over the page, I'm going to go to the page here on my screen so you can see it. As you're going through the page, you should be able to see as you hover over assets or pictures on the page that some of them are just there and others maybe are live. So your cursor might change because there's a link there. That's all I'm going to say. But you're definitely, for that next one, there are some hidden links on the page that you are going to have to go to.
So Jessalyn, I think I hear you saying that there are some things that aren't even visible that you will need to get to open some of these locks. So you can see something, you can see the puzzle right there, and there's the little note. But what I hear you saying is there's some other things that we're going to need to open the locks that aren't even visible on the page. We have to click around to try to open. It's like opening some secret doors, right?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. It's like opening secret doors. We've got lots of people that have gotten that first lock open. All right. Someone here Emma asked, what is the timer used for? So that's for yourself. A lot of times in escape rooms, they'll set a timer. So it's kind of for yourself. We only have a certain amount of time today in this workshop. However, like we said, you can pause the stream. So you really don't have to get out in that time, but it kind of ups the ante with the story. That you only have 30 minutes to solve in this situation to solve the puzzles before your game locks you out forever. So I should also say too that you need to read everything on the page. So there might be important information embedded in the different things that you read. That's very important too.
All right, so I see lots of people have gotten that letter lock open. That was kind of an easy one to get you started. So the letter lock, you might have to do some reading in order to do that and ask yourself, what's different? What looks different here? That's a little clue for that letter lock. All right, we've got lots of people have done the puzzle, but then the puzzle takes you somewhere else. The directional lock, some folks have finished. All right, we are rocking this, Jess.
Awesome.
Jess, there's a few shout outs here that we need to give. In fact, one that's been really popular, Ms. Peniculum's class, Miss Macri's class, Mrs. Wade's class, Mr. Williams' class, ton of great participants from those schools. Miss Peniculum, in fact, has been requested a few times. Must be a popular teacher.
And just a reminder, when you go to put your answers in the Google form, Jessalyn has left you some important reminders there. So if it says all caps, make sure you have all caps. If it says no spaces, make sure there's no spaces, because if you don't follow those instructions, you're going to get the red box, then you're going to have to try again. So this is an example of where reading for detail is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And so some people have asked here, what do you do after you finish all the locks? All right. If you read after you finish the locks, there are some links in there for either a badge that you can get for solving all the locks. And then there are some other digital escape rooms that are in there as well that you could work on. So we are going to talk about the solutions in about 10 minutes. So you've got about 10 more minutes to work on this. But before then, there are some other digital escape rooms that were on that form on the page after you've submitted everything. So I do have a shout out here as well. Someone says, Adonai says, can you please get a shout out with my teacher, Mrs. Reish, the best teacher ever? So I'm not trying to start like a teacher war or anything, but according to Adonai, the best teacher ever is Mrs. Reish.
We've seen lots of best teacher evers in this form. So we know that there are many, many, many awesome teachers in there. Hey, Jess, why don't we pop over to the directional clue and maybe give us a little hint on how we might approach that one.
All right, for sure. So that I am going to give a hint now, everybody, just fair warning. All right, count it down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here is a hint for that directional lock. So it tells us that for this directional lock that there are 5 directions. All right. And somehow we need to find something. And this page isn't giving us a whole lot as far as directions.
Jess,
Again,
do you want to just click on your page so we can't see it with you? We want to be able to see it with you. There we go.
For sure. All right. So there is something here. We've got our directional lock that tells us 5 directions. Okay. Now remember, there are maybe some things that are hidden links in there. And so if we were to, say, click a link, what might happen? Oh, it leads me here. Interesting. So I have been getting a ton of requests here for people to share this with them to edit. I'm not going to give you edit access for this. No, thank you. But you never know. Okay, it says it's here. We've got a bonus level. Lots of cool items up for grabs. I wonder how we could maybe, it also tells us directions. So we're probably on the right track. Again, if I was you, I would be scrolling, maybe clicking around. And you just never know if you might find a link as you are clicking around on that Google drawing.
Like if you clicked on a start button, for example.
Like if you clicked on a start button, you might find a link. I don't know. Absolutely.
All right. And so on the first web page, that's not a scratch and sniff star, but it might be close, is what you're telling us too.
Yeah, maybe.
A quick round of shout outs here. Miss Sitz, Madame Malone, Mr. Delgado, Mrs. Lee Chan, Mr. Lee, Mr. Brutton, Miss Hins, Mr. Bowen. There's a lot of teachers who are getting shout out by their students.
That is so fun. All right, everybody, we've got about 7 more minutes left. Why don't we give Adam and Sam, are either of you working through the puzzles on the escape room? Or just trying to keep up with that form? Because that form is crazy. It's going crazy.
I'm trying to do both. I mean, it's hard to keep up with all the responses. It's tremendous, but the puzzle is also pretty tough. So I'm doing the best I can. I mean, usually when you work at Google, you're pretty good at solving puzzles, but I think this one might be a little too hard for me.
Well, maybe you need to make like a position of like puzzle creator. I would gladly take that position at Google. But okay, so I've got some people here saying that my hint for that second one wasn't quite good enough yet. So I'm going to give another hint. I'm going to give another hint here. Again, if you need to pause the stream or mute me, that's totally fine. Go ahead. No hard feelings. All right, here. So this number lock, we've got some people saying, what in the world with this number lock? All I'm going to say about that is, did you solve this puzzle? Did you solve the puzzle? Because if you solve the puzzle, there's going to be something in there that's going to direct you to where you might need to go
Now,
for
Jess,
that number lock.
do you want to scroll up to the top of that page as well? I noticed something on your website there. I noticed right at down a little bit to the first kind of row of pictures. Can you just kind of scroll on that middle one? I do notice when you scroll there that it's almost like there's a little pop-up icon. So that might be another thing that I might want to click on. Just saying, I noticed that there was another thing there. Oh,
yeah. It's going to be tricky to access if you click that way. If you click around on this image, you're going to have a little bit more success. You never know if there might be any links embedded right in there.
Sam, Adam, I don't know if you look old enough to have ever played Pac-Man on a old time game board like that, but
I'm a huge gamer. I've played lots of different ones, including the original arcade Pac-Man.
Good old Pac-Man. Okay.
But yes, it was before my time a little bit.
And probably right around my time, sadly. So maybe even a little bit after. But yeah, no, I'm also a huge video game fan.
Now, Adam, I have to ask you, were the ghosts multicolored back in the day?
They were the games I played. Probably they didn't start that way, but they were in the ones that I played. Yeah.
Interesting.
And can anyone name the ghosts from the original Pac-Man?
No, I didn't know they had names.
They each of them had names. It might be a fun thing to do. Look them up on Google.
Can you give us at least one?
I thought one was named Sleepy. They were kind of like the Seven Dwarfs.
Ah,
yeah, that's fun.
Pinky,
I think there's a whole new generation of kiddos that know about Pac-Man 2 because of Wreck-It Ralph. I know she's 6 now. My 6-year-old this morning said, "Mommy, did you make a Pac-Man game?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I guess you do know about Pac-Man now because of that's the only way she would know about Pac-Man is because of Wreck-It Ralph."
Lucas thinks one was called Blinky, and Inky, Blinky, and Clyde. AJ says those. I haven't Googled it, but those do seem to sound for me. Oh yeah, everyone's must have some Googlers there using a good old Google search. Divine Mercy School looks like all 4 of them.
All right, everybody, we have about 2 minutes left in that original 30 minutes. All right, so what we need to do, we need to give one more hint. How's that sound, Cami? I'm going to give a hint. We briefly kind of talked about this color lock here. All right. And Cami was onto something with the colors of those ghosts. All right. Fair warning. This is a spoiler. Okay. So I did roll over this little trophy here. If you click on that, it asks you to make a copy of this Google drawing. I would do that. And then when you're in there, that's your copy. So you are an editor. You can do anything. You can click around on there. You won't wreck my original copy. So I would highly encourage that you check around on there. Maybe there's a hint hidden in there somewhere. Maybe a couple more shout outs. Sheehan says, can we have a shout out from Ms. Sitz class? Hello, Ms. Sitz class. We've got Tyson asked for a shout out for Mademoiselle Malone's class. Hello. And really quick before we have to start going through everything else, let's see. A shout out for Mrs. Wellington's class. Thanks, Abby. Shout out for Mrs. Wellington's class. All right. Now, in about 30 seconds, we are going to head to some major spoilers. All right. I am going to give you the full solution to each lock. All right. Now, if this is up to your teacher, all right, if you have more time and you don't need to, stop now, then that's totally fine. If you want to pause the stream so that you can keep working, that's totally fine too. All right. But fair warning, I am about to tell you all of the solutions to all of the locks. All right. Because we've only got 5 minutes left in this workshop.
And Jess, I just want to pop in the little clue that you just gave us with the number puzzle in the Google Drawing. It is experiencing heavy traffic. And so even on my computer, it says heavy traffic, try again. So everyone's clicking that at the same time. Just give it a minute or two. Maybe Jesselyn does that one last.
Yes.
And we will come back and wait to do that one at the end.
Yep, that one is last. So don't you worry. Okay. So the first lock, this letter lock. All right. Again, if you need to pause or mute us, that's totally fine. But I'm going to give all the solutions now. That first lock, a letter lock. When you read this message, there were some randomly capitalized letters. If you put them in order, S, T, E, A, M, the solution was STEAM for the first letter lock. They are all in capitals just because of the way that I formatted the backend responses. That's just my personal preference. That's all the reason why they're in all caps. All right, the second lock. Let us know. Did you get that first lock open? Did you get it? I know a lot of people did kind of near the beginning. The second lock, number 2, numbers. All right. First of all, you had to solve the puzzle. All right. After you solved the puzzle, there was a URL that was provided that you had to go to. It brought you here to a page that looked like this. All right. The order of the objects is in the border. It was medal, sword, key, ghost, trophy. All right. You had to count up those items to put them in order. So we had 4 medals. We had 3 swords. We had 7 keys, 1 ghost, and 2 trophies. The solution was 4, 3, 7, 1, 2. All right. The next one. Let us know. Did you get lock number 2 open? That one was tricky. It was a couple different steps. All right. The third lock was a color lock. Now this one, you had to click the trophy in this maze. That brought you to this drawing. Okay. And if you moved these 3 little stars here, there's a code behind there, 41253. So then you put them in order. You had green, blue, pink, orange, purple. GBPOU. And you had to see there in the form, it did tell you that purple was going to be U instead of P. All right. The fourth lock. Let us know. Did you get the third lock open? And the fourth lock was a directional lock. So you had to click that star image. Okay. It directed to a Google Drawing. If you clicked start again, then you would watch this little animation to show the directions that the ghost travels. And I did code this in Scratch. There were other Scratch workshops today with CS First. CS First, super fun. I love that. And so I used that to code. The ghost went over to the diamond, then the heart, then the medal, and then the trophy and the star. So we had east, east, south, west, west. And that was the solution for that one. So that brings us to the end. I know sometimes when you get the solutions, it's like, oh man, why didn't I see that? It's always simpler than you think it is when you finally get the solution. We'd love to know, did you get lock 4 open? What was one thing that's going to stick with you from today? All right. What was your favorite part of the escape room? What did you learn? We're just really curious. Let us know in that form. We've got about 1 minute left for shout outs.
And sorry, Jess, in the form, I'm noticing that some people really want to hold Sam to his promise about the hack. So we should probably give Sam time to tell us that.
But just a second.
Okay.
The only problem with that is what about teachers who are using this in their classrooms? And then now all of a sudden that hack is just out there.
Do I?
And then learning tool. I don't know. Devil's advocate.
Well,
So Jess-
at the
Jess
very least, you can use tab to switch focus on every clickable element in a web page. But maybe I'll leave the advanced developer tools for another day, maybe just to save Jessalyn a little bit of headache with her students being able to check the answers when they're submitting.
Oh, what a dilemma.
I really like that hint though, Sam, that you can use tab to find all of the things that are clickable. That's super smart.
All right, so we are at the end. We have all the clues, so hopefully you've gotten them all, unhit pause, and you're going to be able to see our little wrap up. So we would love to thank Sam and Adam and Jess. You have created a great, fun escape room. Teachers, you can come back to that and finish that off whenever you have time, but we are out of time. And so we're just going to give one big wave and say thank you for coming today, and good luck finishing up that escape room if you haven't yet.
Great work, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.